Hello, and welcome to today's Explainer. We are going to be diving into a completely hidden biological marvel today, and I'm honestly thrilled you're here because this topic is it's mind-bending. But right off the bat, I want to ask you a question, and I want you to be totally honest with yourself. When you sit down and eat a really delicious, huge, filling meal, where do you think the heavy lifting of digestion actually happens? I mean, most of us instinctively point straight to our stomachs, right? But what if I told you the real magic, the actual biological marvel, is happening somewhere completely different? So let's just shift our entire perspective right now. What if I told you the stomach is really just the warm-up act? Seriously, the stomach is kind of the glory hog of the human body. It gets all the credit, it gets all the stomachache complaints, it gets all the spotlight in high school biology. But realistically, the stomach is just the opening band playing to a half-empty room. It's just prepping the crowd. Today, we're setting the record straight and diving into the ultimate underdog narrative for our body's true hero. Because the difference between the two is staggering. Think about it. The stomach's job is surprisingly basic. It essentially just uses acid and muscle to mash your food into this semi-liquid soup. It's basically a biological blender. But the small intestine, now that is the real star. It takes that mixture and absorbs all the vital nutrients with a level of precision and efficiency that even the most advanced modern engineering completely struggles to match. It's an absolute powerhouse. To truly appreciate this star player, though, we've got to bust a major myth about its name. The word small in small intestine, it actually just refers to its narrow diameter, not its length. It's honestly a terribly misleading name that completely messes up the mental model we have of our own anatomy. It's called small simply because the tube itself is narrower than the wide tube of the large intestine. But as we're about to see, there's absolutely nothing small about its physical scale or what it does for us. Just to grasp the sheer, awe-inspiring scale of what is sitting inside of you right now, let's look at a number, 20 to 23. That is the number of feet long this organ is in an average adult. Let that sink in for a second. Stretching 6 to 7 meters. That's longer than a couple of SUVs parked end to end, or a massive chunk of a city bus route. And yet, nature's somehow managed to cleverly coil, fold, and pack this massive biological superhighway to fit snugly inside a space in your abdomen that's roughly the size of a standard backpack. So what exactly is all that length doing for you? Well, it's actively collecting life's fuel through this incredible conversion process happening continuously inside your gut. As complex proteins enter, it converts them down into essential amino acids. Carbohydrates become usable glucose. Fats become fatty acids. It even meticulously separates out your vitamins and minerals. Without this highly specific breakdown, your body would essentially starve, even if you were eating thousands of calories a day. In fact, the small intestine handles roughly 90% of all your nutrient absorption. But the physical scale goes way beyond just the length. Check this out, 30 to 40. If you were to somehow take your incredibly long small intestine and stretch out all of its macroscopic and microscopic inner structures, the total surface area would hit 30 to 40 square meters. That is roughly the size of half a tennis court, or, the total floor plan of a small city apartment. All of that tucked right there inside your belly. No way, right? How on earth does nature pack a literal tennis court into your abdomen? Well, it's all about brilliant layers of scale. First off, the inside of the tube isn't smooth at all. It has these deep circular folds. Step 2, those folds are densely covered in microscopic finger-like structures called villi. And then step 3, those villi are themselves covered in even smaller projections called microvilli. It is a biological fractal masterpiece. These layers dramatically multiply the surface area, creating an ultra-efficient nutrient harvesting machine packed with millions of tiny collection stations. Now, let's completely shift gears for a minute away from physical scale and over to intelligence, because scientists frequently refer to the small intestine as the body's second brain. And the crazy thing is, that's entirely scientifically justified. You know when you get a literal gut feeling about a situation? That expression is actually deeply rooted in our biology. The small intestine communicates directly and continuously with your actual brain via what scientists call the gut-brain axis. It isn't just a passive, dumb hose. It's a highly active, highly intelligent biological computer. To really grasp how smart it is, consider this. The small intestine contains millions of literal taste sensors for sugars and fats. Yep, it's actually tasting your food long after you've swallowed it. It also has hundreds of millions of neurons. Actually, scratch that. The neuron count down there outnumbers all the neurons found in your entire spinal cord. This incredibly complex neural network allows the intestine to independently control digestion, seamlessly regulate your appetite, and constantly monitor exactly what kind of nutrients are entering your system. And spread across that massive tennis court surface area is an entire bustling microbial civilization. We're talking trillions of microbes living there, doing massive heavy lifting for us. They digest complex foods we simply can't handle on our own. They produce vital vitamins. They actually train our immune system to recognize threats, acting like a little army to protect us against harmful invading bacteria. When we really look at the small intestine, we quickly realize humans aren't just individuals. We're entire walking ecosystems. Okay, let's talk about its next hidden superpower. The small intestine is a massive hormone-producing factory. It completely regulates hunger and fullness, controls your insulin release, and completely manages digestive movements. Think about the last time you were eating a giant dinner and suddenly just thought, okay, wow, I'm totally satisfied. That powerful signal telling your brain, I'm full, doesn't just come from your stomach stretching out. Those crucial hormonal signals actually originate right here in the small intestine. But let's get back to the harsh, physical reality of digestion with another unbelievable number, 3 to 5. What does that signify? It means the small intestine aggressively replaces its entire inner cellular lining every 3 to 5 days. Literally, many of the highly specialized cells doing all this heavy lifting inside you right now won't even exist next week. It is absolutely one of the fastest renewing tissues in the entire human body. So why does it need to replace itself at such a frantic pace? Because honestly, it's surviving a terrifying daily environment down there. It is constantly battered by highly corrosive digestive acids, destructive enzymes that are literally meant to break down tissue, and raw physical wear and tear from the food passing through. It is an incredibly dangerous place to be a cell. The biological machine inside you right now is constantly rebuilding itself from scratch under extreme conditions just to keep you alive. This rapid-fire reality completely shatters our normal perception of digestion time. We usually think of digestion as this slow, sluggish, hours-long process. But in reality, nutrients can enter your bloodstream within minutes. Certain simple sugars and critical nutrients are absorbed almost immediately upon hitting the small intestine. It acts as a rapid logistics network, constantly ensuring stable, on-demand energy supplies are routed directly to your brain and muscles exactly when they need them. And if we're talking about survival superpowers, the small intestine has the ultimate backup system. If a part of it gets removed, the remaining tissue just adapts to become more efficient. If a patient loses a significant chunk of their small intestine due to severe disease or physical injury, the surviving section can actually compensate. It physically adapts to become hyper-efficient at nutrient absorption, allowing people to live perfectly normal lives despite a massive loss of tissue. Nature literally built the ultimate flexible backup system right into our biology. So where is this all leading us in the future? Well, despite centuries of studying the human body, researchers are just now deeply investigating the gut's links to emotions, immunity, aging, and weight. This silent, hidden organ still holds massive, game-changing secrets. Scientists are eagerly uncovering new connections between our gut microbes and our mental health, our longevity, and our metabolism. The small intestine could quite literally hold the key to solving some of humanity's biggest, most stubborn health mysteries. All right, let's bring the whole shebang together and finally give our underdog the glory it deserves. We are talking about a hidden biological genius that is over 20 feet long, tightly coiled inside your abdomen. It has the surface area of half a tennis court. It replaces its entire lining every few days while surviving a ridiculously acidic, dangerous environment. It acts as a literal second brain, outnumbering the neurons in your spinal cord. And it hosts trillions of microbes that keep you functioning. The small intestine is, without a doubt, one of nature's greatest biological engineering marvels. Which leaves us with one final incredible thought. If an organ we rarely think about, an organ we just routinely dismiss as a warm-up act, is doing all of this right now, silently inside your abdomen, what other mysteries might be waiting inside the human body? Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. Keep wondering, keep learning, and I'll see you next time.